Right. Oh dear, listen to that weather. Excellent. So I've decided, instead of going live in the event, from the event, I would go live directly from my page, and that might mean hopefully some more people can see what we are up to. Good afternoon, Blanche. Oh, actually, sorry, my darling, it's good morning for you, isn't it? Let me just, I've got some wet clay, which is not, because I changed my mind at the 11th hour. That one's dry, that one's dry. Let's just do some bits of shenaniganing, because we might just need to take a hot glue, a heat gun to these. I can't pop the heat gun straight onto there because I will melt covers, but there we are. Let's just take some of these pieces off. We'll give these a little bit of a blast because that will help. Then we can move some of them out of the way. There we are. Because unusually for me, I have used paper clay, and the rationale for me using paper clay. Hi Helen Louise, how are you, my darling? Now I still have the transfers for the challenge you've set me. I'm not ignoring it, but this was set up a wee while ago, and these are a Sharon Ziv mould even. Right, let's just pop that over there, and I've got a very large circular canvas, so we'll just get this lot off here. We're going to give these a little blast with a heat gun because they're still quite wet and soft. It's my own fault for changing my mind as to what I was going to do, because that's what you do when you're going live, isn't it? You should change your mind. Oh, there we are. Let's just give these, and then we can give them an undercoat of paint. She says, let's just grab a heat gun. There we are. And then we can give these a bit of a blast. I trust that everyone is well. And I've laid these out. So I have a very large circular canvas that I'm going to work with today, and then we're going to build, as I usually do, a scene on it because I don't sort of like abstract, and I'm not a great fan of baroque and brocante. I like a story to put my mates. There we are. But as I say, these need a little bit of a dry before we can do that. So the mould that I am using, as I say, I cast these a couple of hours ago, is this one. It's Sharon Viv, and it's the aptly named moulds made of bricks mould, except that we're going to use them as almost like stones around a pond. Good afternoon, Sue. Welcome. Thank you for joining us, my darling. Thank you, thank you. Oh dear, let's just turn that noise off. There we are. We won't want that. We don't want that dinging either. So there we are. And then we're going to give these an undercoat. Right. The top surface is reasonable. The under surface is not. But there we are. That's because it was on the plastic, and I possibly should have put that on onto a paper towel. But hey ho! So I think we might have one of the Prima Redesign team ladies watching. I can see from my Facebook page that that's what's going on. We're just going to build up a little imaginary pond, but I just need, as I say, these just need to be a little bit firmer, and then we're going to add paints to these, and I want a selection of different browny greys, and this is going to be a base coat, not the final coat. Oh dear, that doesn't look to be in very good condition. Let's just add, swizzle some of that into there, and we can give that a good well, we might be putting that one conveniently in, but is for bin, because that is very definitely dried out. Let's just pop that in there, pop that over there, and we'll pick up a different grey, browny grey. So what have we got? Let's go for these two tones. We're going to be adding stuff to them to bring out the detail. There's subtle detail in these moulds. Don't need my beautiful froggies. They're just gorgeous. I love frogs. But then those of you that know me know that my sister's nickname is Toad, so I love that. Good evening, afternoon, Joan. I trust that you are well. So we're going to be naughty. We're going to mix and match, and we're going to not necessarily have these all the same, and they will not just stay this colour. They are going to end up as a mixture with some extra details. I'm having to be careful because I didn't dry them all, and yeah, there's lots and lots of texture in these. They're slightly different thicknesses. That's possibly my bad for the way I cast them, but that's also good. Good afternoon, Diane. Hello, Upcycled Wonder. Thank you very much for joining me today. So let's just give these all a quick cover of these, and we can give them another blast dry. As I say, we're not going to do them all in one colour. Let's just turn that around the correct way. We will be chopping some of these up, some of them will be layering, and we're definitely going to be adding some more texture along the way with some of these, with some of my makes. And as you say, I've already chopped some of these up. I've got some part pieces on here. So I love this mould because it has got the texture on it. They're nice sizes, which, in spite of the fact that you might not believe me, means that that it covers the space relatively easily. And that, I'm saying that because actually the mould that I've the frame, the circular canvas I've got, is humongous. It's quite big, but hey ho, yeah, it wouldn't be me if I didn't bite off more than I could chew, would it really? You know, that's just life. There we are. So let's just mix and match these. As I say, we're going to add some extra detail to them anyway, so that's cool. And we're going to create a little fish pond with a tiled edging to it, because that's what we have, isn't it, really? Not necessarily, but that's where I'm thinking. Some of that edge I will undoubtedly have to repaint and redistress once it's on my project, because I know full well I'm going to be doing some trimming of some of these pieces. And I'm being careful, as I say. Ideally you could do with letting these just dry a little bit more than I have, but that's okay. So, and then I'm moving between my shades of grey. You could just as easily use one and then add some some white paint into it to get to the different colours, and that's also just fine and dandy. You know, you use what you have. Lots and lots of different brands have different paints, don't they? So and this is an imaginary project. There isn't necessarily a right and a wrong. The colours of the transfers that I'm going to use from my Lilly Pond, because I have got some transfers out, are quite soft, so hence the softer tones, but I will be adding some darker details into these. And yeah, I know I has lots of these to paint, but we'll get there. So I'd be crafting anyway, so I might as well be crafting and doing my life, mightn't I? There we are. Have a bit of a mix. There we are. Doesn't have to all be the same, but some of those edges will get hidden ultimately. Let's just pop that under there. Doesn't matter that I've got pieces that I haven't cast particularly well because because you know, stones are a bit ripped, aren't they? So that's okay. So let's just get these, give them another little bit of a blast, then we can get. It might be a bit of rinse and repeat today. Oopsie daisy, she says, slopping paint every which way, but hey ho, there we are. So I've got grey and dove grey here, so yeah, there we are. Oops, that might be the, I think that might be the correct side of that, but it doesn't matter because we can chop up as we want to. There's lots of little textural details in this mould from there. So I trust that everyone is well on this Sunday afternoon. Hi Sheila, hi Renee. Good afternoon for our lovely lady who's joined us from Greece. I'm sorry, on my phone you've come up with your Greek name, so I have no idea how to, and your beautiful Greek alphabet, but I've no idea how to translate that into English. But I trust that you understand what I'm doing at the moment, and that you'll enjoy the process as we craft along. And I haven't really taken very many shortcuts today, apart from precasting these. And as I say, I have used paper clay because, partly because of just the sheer volume of pieces that I wanted, and it also is going to allow me to trim them as I want to, whereas around my circular canvas, whereas doing that with the resin pieces would be much more difficult to do, and whereas the paper clay will stay soft and workable all the way through, and that means that I can trim off what I want as I want as I work around my piece. So that's why I've opted to use clay today rather than anything else. And I'm not minded if we've got a little bit of the white showing through ultimately, because we are going to be layering and adding lots more detail onto these, just with some very simple techniques. As you know, I don't particularly do complicated, but I do like layering and I do like detail. There we are. Hello Angela, welcome my darling. Good afternoon Elizabeth. I trust that you are well, my friend. There we are. So I am very fortunate to have on Facebook many friends who live in parts of Europe, and I am hoping that they all stay safe. I think the weather and the images of the floods coming through Romania, Czechoslovakia, etc. look pretty scary to me, so I'm sending them all my love and wishes that they stay safe, because clearly none of us wishes anyone to come to any harm from this weather and the flooding. We have enough of our fair share of adverse weather in the UK, so there we are. And I think there's more rain set to hit them, which is never good. There we are. Some of those sides we might, oops, she says, you can see how wet this clay still is, but there we are. I'm hoping that bit by bit, as we add our colours, our layers, and do a little bit of heat blasting, because we're going to need to do a bit of heat blasting, will allow us to get them a little bit drier, and we will just have a little bit of a wipe of our hands. As I say, I'm not mithered about these being a bit patchy, because the reality of life is, of course, that stone is not all one colour. So let us pop, well, that's not the correct lid for there, but we'll worry about that another time, and we'll pop that onto there, and then we'll grab a little bit of a wipe and we're just going to give this a jolly good blast. Let's see who else is there. Good afternoon, Angie. And yeah, welcome, my darling. Welcome. So this is showering brick mould that I've cast lots of pieces, because this is going to be the brick or stonework edging to my pond. So let's just give these a good dry. I'm using chalk paints. It might they may crack a little bit. That's also fine. That will just add to the texture of the pieces overall. I'm going to add some more colours and some more detail. Oh dear, that doesn't sound very good to me, Angela. I know there's certainly vile weather coming through Europe. Anya, are you safe from the rain at the moment in the Netherlands, my darling? I'm just hoping, by the time I come through here, give these all a good blast, it's going to help stiffen up the surface a little bit as well, because currently the clay is a bit soft. It's not a problem. But I would definitely recommend that you cast your clay, sort out what you're going to do with it, and let it dry. These will all shrink a little bit as they dry, but that's fine. You can always add some grout to hold them all in place and to take account of any of that. Let's just pop that onto there. I should have put a tray out. We might just swap this glass mat for another one. I've got another one tucked behind me. Might make life easier for the next bit. It means I don't have to lift all of these up. So let's just give these all a bit more of a blast, because that's what's needed. Yeah. So let's just pop that into there, and then we're going to have an experiment, because why not? Why not indeed? So those two can go out of the way. So I just have a water bottle filled with some, surprisingly, that'll be water. If you're going to do lots of this, then I definitely suggest that you keep this and you use boiled or sterilised water. So I've just squished into there some vintage patina, because it's going to allow me to mix it in here and hopefully get it to dissolve. So whilst I'm shaking that, letting it dissolve all in here, we're just going to carry on giving these a bit more of a dry, because I can see I've still got wetness on the surface of them. Let's just give that all a good mix in. So the vintage patinas, a bit like antiquing gels or glazes, can all be water soluble products, so you can then just let them down with water, and you're not going to do them any harm. It's just going to allow me to spritz these. Wow, maybe not spritz it quite. There we are. So, should have perhaps used my Tim Holtz one, but hey ho. So I've got some wet which is darker, some which is not, just because that's how it's mixed in my thing. And it looks like I'm adding a bucket load of water, but I don't think I really am. are. So let's just and see what I mean by it's just allowing me to have a nice mix, and how my pieces no longer look like, well, don't look like painted pieces of clay. I've got lots of natural colour variation just by literally spritzing and now dabbing off. So they definitely now, to my mind, look much more like they might be pieces of slate, perhaps. There we are. Definitely lots of texture, lots of variation into these. Let's just do that so that my pieces are not all the same. There we are. So I think that has worked quite nicely. So let me just give that, as I say, that was literally just vintage patina, so a grey antiquing gel. You could use a mixture of black and white from Pentart, that would work quite well. Let's just give these a little blast, and then we're going to pop, I know that will only surface dry them, and that's fine, and then we can pop the whole tray down on the floor, and we will get to our circular canvas and creating the background for that. There we are. Not bad at all. I must have a hunt for some of those, but actually this has the irregularity of that spray bottle actually I think is going to work for me in amongst this, which is cool. Yeah. So now then, if I lift that down, let's just do a little bit of moving around. Oh dear, so let's put that clay into its bag before that goes off. And we'll pop that out of the way. Hi Anya. There we go. Sorry, that's what beautiful. There we are, that can go over there, that can go, and I'm just going to pop the heater on my floor. So if there's a whirring noise, don't be alarmed, because I think it might be quite helpful just to set the heater near that. It'll continue to dry them for me, but it might just end up just, there we are. We'll turn that so it's facing away from my feet, and let's just pick up an alternative mat. Right, so there is my canvas. It is 40 centimetre round and it comes from a UK craft store. So let's just take it out of its plastic wrapping and start to create our sea background. So do I. Well, absolutely. I hope that it stays nice too. Hi Sue. Welcome, welcome. Right, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. There we are. We have, and we're just going to do some splodgy painting. I like splodgy painting. I want some water. So why not have some splodgy painting, because there aren't any rules when it comes to water, is there? So we've got a lot. The bricks are going to go around the outside of here. Oh dear, where's that gone? There we are. Let's just move that to something that I can understand. There we are. So let's just So this is a pre-primed canvas. So that one is vintage blue, and this one is country blue. So by wet mixing, I am able to have lots of different colours onto here, and I can merge them so I don't have a hard transition at all. So that's the joy of why you end up with needing masses and masses of different products, because you know that's just the way it goes, isn't it? There we are. So we'll just add some of that into here. Putting the transfer onto here might be a challenge. There we are. There we are. So those have merged reasonably nicely. And this, they are two beautifully blues. As I say, they're my go-to. So it's vintage blue and country blue. And then I have what might seem a strange colour, because water isn't all blue, is it? Right, this is country green, so it definitely has a blue tone into it, and again it's just going to add another shade into here, and will help mix my colours. As I say, the edges here won't be a problem, because we are going to be adding our brick moulds that I spent ages painting into here. So there we are. We might go back to some of the country blue into here in a minute. I will paint the sides of my canvas off air. Those are going to be changed anyway. So that's giving me that. I'm going to go back. Actually, I'm not. I think I'm going to add, this is heliobore, and it's actually got a purple undertone to it. So again, we're doing what we can to avoid having a completely flat colour. And we can always come back in, well, we will be coming back in, so there's no question about it. I know full well I'm coming back in for a whole host of reasons. We're going to be coming back in. Let me just add a little bit of that heliobore into the centre of there, and then just brush it out. There we are. So we've got lots of colour variation into there. I think it looks quite nice as a sea or as a pond, which is the intention. Let's just pick up some of that, cover that in, get that covered, because it's going to make me feel better, even though I don't think it's actually going to be on display very long, and we will need those colours back out later on. So let's just oh, that sounds rather lovely at that temperature, so let's just move that pot of gel medium out of the way. And give this a dry. I want to add a little bit more movement into this water. And I've got a stencil to help me do that. Let's let this top there dry while my bricks are going. So that's what I did with them. And then say I will do round the edges off the live because we might be here for a little while otherwise. And the patchy areas where I've clearly missed bits will get covered. So these are matte acrylic paints rather than chalk paints, so it shouldn't be a problem for me to add my transfers ultimately onto here. My bricks definitely now look like bricks drying on the floor. Okay, so I have a little watery stencil. Well, I'm thinking it'll be a little watery stencil. So let's just pop that over there, pop that over there. We're not going to for texture for this. Ugh, what a mess, what a mess, what a mess, what a mess. Let's just get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. And then let's take we're going to do a little bit of that blue. Hi Robin, thank you my darling for joining me. Your support is so much appreciated. We're going to take some of this which is white and we're going to pop that there. And we'll end up throwing lots of this away, but hey ho, that's life. And I think we're going to go with that heliobore. And this is the joy of the 20ml pots. There we are. So let us find a piece of sponge. And then we'll pop that over here. Got all sorts of colour in there. We want this to be right. Let's just tuck that out of the way. Soften out those edges. Just want some areas of movement. Not all of this is going to be visible, so that's okay. But it's just going to add a little bit of texture, a little bit of movement, because water isn't flat, is it? You know, it just isn't. And we're adding just yet another layer of colour onto here. And I can always come back in and add more if I want to as I go. And I'm deliberately not wanting this to be entirely perfect, because water doesn't have a flat movement, does it? It moves as the wind blows. There we are. So that gives us some nice thing. So that can now go over there. While I just give this a good wipe down, because I think that's going to work. My heat tool is well and truly abused. I have several of them. They're all in a sad state of colouring, shall we say. And I know this might be criminal, but I'm just going to pick that lot up, whilst that in the bin, because I'm not used to working on a small mat. There we are. I think that will work quite well for that. Let's just pop that out of harm's way, and then I can get rid of those blues, and that will take those out of my way. And then we have two little frogs, because why wouldn't you have two little frogs? Let's shuffle that up there. Right, cool. So we might need a bit more delicate painting at this point in time, so let's just see if we can find some nicer looking brushes in amongst the chaos that we have. So what we're going to do, let's do Mr. Froggy. So Mr. Froggy is going to be olive. I tend to use quite bright colours because I then age them and that dulls those down. And mojito green. Oh, definitely not obsessed with cleaning. There we are. And we might have a little bit of Nimbus added for good measure, because it's a much softer colour. There we are. Let's just take a little bit of that out over there, pop that there. Hi Debbie, welcome my darling. Right, so let us just take so we've got a nice frog on here. We'll worry about the detail, and the black we can put back in later on. So let's just pop this on. So these have been dry a wee while, because I have this project planned forever. And I can pop some black into that when I want to for the eye. There we are. And I can edge around there when I come to doing the leaf itself, because I'm going to choose a different colour for the leaf. There we are. Let's just cover those because it's going to be easier, and then I can re-sort out that inordinate mess. And let's just brush those in, and let's take a bit of that. So mixing those up. And I will neaten those as we go. So we've got some colour variation in our frog with a slightly paler underbelly, which was the intention. Right. There we are. Yeah, absolutely. We just need to have stuff that works. Doesn't have to look brand new. In fact, yeah, I've always got painty hands. It works for embossing if I need to have something that's vaguely clean, so that's always a good starting point, but I don't very often feel the need to, apart from my stencils, which are definitely clean. There we are. So let's just pop some of that onto the underbelly of my frog and blur them in a little bit, and go back to some nice feet. There we are. There we are. So let's just give that a little bit of a blast because it's going to make my life easy. Hello Sophie, welcome my darling. So I am going to be using these transfers for my lilies, hence the title, Lilly Pond. And the green of that leaf is quite pale, which is fine. So we're going to go back to the country green, and then I will edge it with some darker green, and then we're going to distress it all anyway to add some more into the textures, and we'll paint some black carefully in when it's better dried. There we are. So let's just pick up, I'm picking this because I think the colour is going to match better with that, and I want a little bit of a darker tone as well. So let's just take some of that, which is pine green, and that can go into there. Hi Sophie. As I say, these will settle themselves down. So let's just take a little bit of that nimbus, which is going to be contaminated, and that's absolutely fine, and a little bit of that country green, and we're going to blur these in, and we'll take a little bit, just a little bits of that, and we're going to just merge these colours so we've got some leaf variation, because leaves are not all the same, are they? Let's just come back to that. There we go. So that's giving me some nice variation with fairly minimum effort. There we are. Let's just pick up some of that. There we are. So that's going to be a little bit of a headache. So let's just swap to in there. Just add with a little brush the detail back into there. There we are. And I can see that I have added too much over my frog's legs, so there we are. I'm going to add in some more of that just to give it a little bit more detail into there. So let's just take some of that, pop it literally into there. There we are. So that's allowing us to have lots of variation in there. There we are. I'm just darkening that colour where it's soaked into my clay. But we will put the detail back in, I promise you, in the way that I put detail back into lots of things. So let's just mix that up. Add some bits of that around the edges. Take most of that off there. we are, we've got an edge on that, so let's just cover it round. It's going to be in the shadows, isn't it, tucked into there, so there we are. There's no veining on this mould for the leaf, so we're just going to mix our colours to give it what I hope will be a reasonably natural appearance by the time we've mixed everything together. We can always come back in. That's also not a problem, is it? That's the joy. So there we are, we have our frog on our leaf. We've got some extra variation, so let's carry on. So one size frog in the mould, but that's fine. That's all you need, isn't it? Well, maybe not, but I do have several frog moulds, and so I shall carry on messing with them. There we are. No two leaves are the same, so we don't need to be stressing too greatly about having everything looking the same. Let's just mix out that colour. There we are. So my normal approach, painting made easy, doesn't need to be complicated. And then I can go back in, once I've got the first layer down, I can then carry on and add what I want, where I want. And take off what I don't want. There we are. Okay, so let's just sort out Mr. Frog, make him look a bit nicer. And remember, this is just a layer, there will be some more layers going on. There we are. And we can continue to add as we need to. There we are. Okay, so let's just pop that into there, and let's give these a little bit of a blush dry. And then I will find my black paint. Well, actually no, I'm going to distress these first. So I'm going to make sure these are properly dry. Poor dog is again, he's already trying for my attention. Oh wow. So we will sort out all of this assorted colour mix fairly soon. Now then, right, let's just get rid of that and take an old brush. I've got lots of old brushes. because I want to distress these and white back, I'm just going to add some matte varnish. Ultimately on the project I might well add some gloss varnish onto some of these pieces, but I can add that at the end. My plan is actually to flood everything with pouring glaze, which will give a glossy surface and then will make my water shiny, which, because water is, isn't it, it's reflective. So let's just pop that onto there. Let's just pop that onto there, and we can give this a little bit of a dry. Don't need thick layers, but I definitely want a layer to protect that paint and then get it dry. So it depends on what you're doing as to which steps that you do or not. So on the bricks, I'm wanting a very distressed effect. It didn't matter to me if I lifted, yeah, and I wasn't going to be wiping off, I just gently dabbed. So let's just add these onto here, and we might have a bit more of a clean up. And then we're going to bring some texture back in and some black for details. But to do that, I now need this to be dry. Good afternoon, Rima. Welcome, my darling. Thank you for watching. Hello, Faith. Sorry I didn't see you come in. I don't want you to feel that I'm being rude to you. So now I'm going to clean my hands in a minute because they are pretty vile, and we'll mop this mess up. I've still got wet bricks, aka slate tiles. So let's just get this properly dry. And I can see that paint is lifting off there. So that's the joy of, you know, what you don't really want it to do when you're drying stuff. So this clay will reshape nicely when it's wet. How have I got a piece of glitter into there? I mean, really? There we are. Wow, who knew? Who knew I was going to get glitter in there? Right, and let's just add some green antiquing gel, and that can equally be an old scrubby brush. So let's just pick up a little wet wipe and just give this a gentle wipe back. There we are. So that's leaving me colour close to in the recesses. There we are, and I now have the texture for my frog in there, which is quite nicely there. So let's repeat with this one. There we are. Okay, have a clean piece of that. As I say, this is a dark green rather than a brown. There we are. I think that works quite nicely. Let me just shovel a bit onto there just to soften that edge, pop that colour back into there. And yeah, I'm using that as a paint, but it doesn't matter. So there we are. That can go there, that can go there, that can go there. That's just before I make an inordinate mess and put my hands in that. Just wipe that lot all up and have a little bit of a clear down because, well, because I need a clear down. I've got 55,000 tonnes of product every which way. Because that's what you do, isn't it, on a live? You have a ridiculous amount of product out. So let us, where is my black? Actually going to, I am going to go black, and intentionally black. And usually when you see me use black, you'll see me grab a Posca pen. Because my hand is steadier with a black pen. There we are. Then it might be with, right, so that just needs to dry properly, so we will grab some black acrylic. Aha, there is the little one. So let's just add our black eye into there and a little bit into there. We can add some white when that is dry. So let's just add black eye there and there. And if we want, we can just add a few extra spots onto there. So our froggy doesn't look quite like it's all the same colour. Just need to add a few spodgy bits there. There we are. And that will work for me. So that can go on to there. Cool. So let's just pop him and him up there. Is that dry? Yeah. Okay. So, which way did I have that? Does it really matter? I think I had it that way up. Now then, I want to add some transfers onto here and some stamping, but the centre of here is definitely springy. So that is going to prove a challenge. Okay, so I've just put a hard piece under there, so the centre of there is no longer springy. And let's just give this another good blast, because I can still feel it's slightly damp. Right, hopefully that is a bit better than it was. Now then, aha, we have a magic tool and we have a buffing tool. So, I sort of know where I'm going. I have a plan. He is going to go there and he is going to go there. And could I have done more than one of them? Yeah, certainly could. So 6x12 transfers, 3 sheets in a thing. So that's cool, isn't it? Let me just move that so we're on something solid. And then let's just pop that into there. That will do. Oh, what did I do? There we are. So as I say, I have a hard board underneath here, because that is going to definitely make my life easier for transferring these pieces onto here, and we're just going to build our lily pond now. So as we know from the other week, it can take a little bit of a workout to add your transfers, but when you can't paint, as in realistically paint, the transfers do make your life much easier. So let's just there we are. So I've got a nice surface that's coming down, so because this is properly dry, unlike the texture paste one I did the other day. Actually, this is lifting off far more cleanly than the other day. So let's just give that a little burnish down, get rid of that edge as much as possible. There we are. So we're going to build a scene because we can. So there we are. But I think we're going to add the pinky ones. There we are. So we don't need these all to be the same. So he is going to go there. He's going to go there. I think we're going to pop him there. And let's just move my board underneath there. There we are. And now you can see why I wasn't worried about having completely even stenciling, because these are totally opaque and so will quite happily cover a multitude of sins. There we are. I buy my transfers from Just Like Home Interiors, who are based in the northeast of the UK. The ladies there are fabulous, and I like to support a small company, and they are definitely a small company. So there we are. So let me see. So he can go. I'm going to have other things there. So I'm actually going to pop him in that direction, as if he's coming out from. Hello, Olympia. Welcome, my darling. Welcome, welcome. So there we are. There we are. So let's just give that a little bit down. And I may add some more. There's still plenty left from this set of transfers. So I've got this amount left. So plenty enough left there. But we'll see when we by the time we've finished adding out all of our pieces. So I'm going to leave the board underneath there, and right, this might be where we have just ever so slightly a little bit of a headache. So let me just pop that over there, because I've got so many of these pieces to tuck out of the way. There we are. And I don't wish to be getting up and down and back and forth and the rest of it all the time. So I'm going to add some moss and some cement, because why wouldn't you add moss and cement? So let's just get rid of those, pop them down there, tuck that over there, get rid of the extraneous bits, move that to there. I want it. And as I say, I know that I can, because I've used air dry clay, I can change these around a bit. So there we are. There we are. So I am going to start just adding little bits. So we're going to use a combination of gel medium plus some little bits of cement paste into here. So let's just add, and then I will trim around once it's dry the pieces that I want. So that's going to sit onto there. Comme ça. And I've got more pieces than I need, so that is a little bit of grout, and we'll add a little bit of grout along there, because that's what we have, isn't it, when we have a tiled surface, and that will help settle that into place. There we are, the joy. We'll carry on backing and throwing. Thank you, Annette. I am rather hoping it will work out quite nicely. The 64th, I can't have had that on there because I haven't got a. So let's ask, not that it will matter because we can trim off to our heart's content. So let's just add. I'm going to end up using most of this pot of gel medium anyway, so let's just pop that onto there. As I say, I can trim off my edges once it's all dry and then repaint them, so that's okay. That's clearly meant to go into there, but not that piece. So we'll do a little bit of grouting and we'll do a little bit of messing as we go. I did have all these set out, but that's just okay. There we are. So we'll just have a little bit of that. Pop that into there, because you've got to grout your tiles, haven't you? Yeah, of course you have to grout your tiles. There we are. Put that into there. Okay, let's just get that out of the way before we have a real pickle. So let's just shuffle that over to there, and I know I can paint that when I want. Maybe it's not quite the right size for that, but that's okay. We'll tackle it as we need to, and we can grout around the edges and we can add that into there. So that's helping to cover that. We can pop a bit of grout there. See, I like it when did I put any gel medium on there? Well, it seems to be scrapping, so we'll leave it as it is. There we are. As I say, we can add in as we choose. So let's get a clean palette knife so that we're not double dunking. Sorry, darling. Ooh, thank you, Joan. We might have a little bit of a headache here. There we are. Let's just take that out of the way. I've got more stuff around me than I know what to do with. And there we are. Is that better? Yay. And then we're going to have to move up and down, I think. There we are. So we'll pop that into there. I think we might just pop that one over there. And let's just take a little one, and then we'll do some grouting along the way. Yeah, the piece is quite big, Joan. I think that's the problem. So let's just take some grout and grout these in. This is going to make my life easier. And as I say, I will trim off the edges once it's all set in place, because it's just going to be easier to do that when I'm not, yeah, once we're off the live. But there we are. And I can add so these are not even, and that's fine, because the ponds aren't even, are they? There we are. Let's just pop a little bit of grout along there, and that's also going to help hold it all into place. Yeah, there we are. So we've now got, I'm sorry my darling, yeah, it's I just have to remember that I shouldn't pick such a big piece to work on when I'm doing the live, but there we are, which is a bit of a headache, but I had the canvas and I just wanted to use it, if that makes sense. So hence I'm actually going to take that board out from my wooden plate board. So that's what I've had underneath there, holding it while I put the transfers on, because we've got quite a lot of this that needs to get stuck it in. Let's just grout that piece all to each other. There we are. And then we'll grab another one. There we are. So let's in fact we're going to pre-grout this one because it's just going to be easier, isn't it, to pre-grout the edges. And this clay is still wet, so my friend, so I am, which I knew it was going to be, so that's okay. So that can go there. There we are. I'm going to pop that one into there because I don't want a completely flat edge. There we are. I want it to look as if the paving stones are jutting over, so that it's there we are. So the leaves are partly underneath. Look at the state of my hands, honestly. There we are. Let's get rid of that, because contrary to someone on Telly the other day, that gel medium dries white. There we are. So let us I think, yeah, we're going to just pop some of our cement into there. And the joy of the gel medium as opposed to using the hot glue gun is that it's allowing me to pop these in and move them about a little bit. There we are. So we've got some cement lurking in there, so we can pop that into there. That's going to sit as if it's partly on and partly off. That is the plan. Who commented? Someone. Ah, Betty, thank you, darling. So let's just pop that piece up onto there, because we know that that's where I want that piece, and we'll grout afterwards. And again, that's going to be off camera. Sorry, darling, I will move it back in a minute. I'm just going to get rid of that piece up onto there, and then I will pop it down and in and to there and over here, so that there we are. I think that should now be in the camera. I am using a Pentart cement paste as my grout. So this one, Stone Effect paste in cement. Oh, I don't know why that binged, but hey ho. I'm going to pop that like that, so that will work. So let's just pop a squidge of that there, squidge of that there. It's helping disguise the yucky edges. That's popping that into there. There we are. And I can, as I say, I can trim off those pieces when I want to. So there we are. Let's just pop that onto there, that onto there, that onto there. And so when they're all dried in place, I will chop off the bits that I don't want, if that makes sense. Oops! Wow, there we are. And I'm rather hoping that we'll have a piece that's a good size to sit into there. There we are. We can move that down a little bit, that down a little bit. Excellent. Pop that into there, pop that into there, fill that hole with a little bit of grout. There we are. Excellent. Let me just, yeah, because why, you know, why pick a small project to do? Yeah, because that would be intelligent, wouldn't it? Yay. There we are. Let's just glue those in. Pick up some more gel medium. I'm not bothered about this pot gel medium being contaminated, because I have a feeling I might be using the vast majority of it anyway. There we are. That can go there. That can sit into there and grout that, and that can sit into there and grout that. So, yucky, mickey, sticky, mucky ants. Right, eeny meeny. Let us move this again, because we need to continue to build up our pond. We're going to risk it. We're going to pop that there, because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? There we are. That was me knocking my gel medium onto my computer keyboard, so I apologise for that noise. There we are. I don't like icky, sticky, mucky hands. And I'm going to get them icky sticky mucky again, I know, but I just need to have this to do it. And there we are. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with that one, but let's just continue to play. We don't want that on there, so let's just take that off there. And then let's just grab some more gel medium. There we are. And then I'm going to pop that into there, and I clearly need a big blob of my paste into there. And let's just fill that hole. And that's the joy of grouting, isn't it? You can fill every hole that you've got, but it's giving me an uneven surface, which is the look that I wanted. I didn't want it to look like it was freshly laid. There we are. There we are. Okay. Let us sort out this pickle. Don't want that there. It is too big, and that's fine because we have lots of smaller pieces here. So let's just grout the edges, because grouting the edges is working. Add the gel medium to the bottom. I'm going to have to move it again, I think. There we are. There we are. And then, as I say, we will take off the edges off the live. I can take off some of these pieces and there we are. Carry on. We can so we've got a little bit of the way to go. So we're just adding these pieces as we go. As I say, they're slightly different sizes, and that's okay. Let's just pop that over there for the moment, and then let's just add a bit of grout with the cement, because if you've got something that calls itself cement paste, you might as well use it, I reckon. There we are. Now then. Oh. There we are. And then we can. I don't like that piece, so let's take this piece. And we're going to grout the edge and grout there, grout there, grout along there. That gets rid of that. Let's just add the gel medium into there. That can sit nicely into there. And now you know why I kept that little bit, because it will sit into there. And then I can just tile that into there and add a little bit more into there. Pop that down. Just going to pop it over just a tad, so I don't end up with a surface at that end. Okay, my darling, not a problem. I appreciate that this is going to be a bit of a labour of love. Because why wasn't it ever going to be a bit of a labour of love? Let's just take that off that. Oh, she says, knocking more stuff across the floor. There we are. Right, anyway, this piece is too big. I just know to like it, but let me see if this one will work. Excellent. Actually, I think we're going to do that. And then we can add some smaller pieces in as we go. Going round. There we are. Take that off over there, and then we can add another stone there, and yay, I like it, I like it, I like it. There we are. So let's just grout those areas, because we haven't grouted in there, so let's just pop some of that into there. We've got a little hole which we can fill. Oops, she says. There we are. Excellent. We're getting there, ladies. We are getting there. And perhaps I should have done myself 3 frogs, but hey ho, 2 seemed like a good idea at the time. So let's just, I think we might, we've got an assorted collection of different sizes, so that's all okay, isn't it? I think we might do that and that, because why not? Because that's how I feel at the moment. There we are. Let's just pop that one into there. Oops, get rid of that. Wipe that neatly off there. Take that. Take some more of our grouting mixture, squish it in. There we go. Yeah. Just need it. Got some extra grout on my thing, so I'm just going to pop it into the places where I can see I've got gaps. There we are. Right. Okay, okay. I think we might. Oh, she says. There we are. Yep, I like that. So let's just pop that onto there. More gel medium. She says, throwing gel medium all around the place. Let's just get rid of that. So that's going that way. Now let's just pop the grout along there. Pop some grout along there. Squish that into there. We can tidy that up as we want to. There we are. Let's get rid of that. Right. Let me just shuffle that up there, ladies. Oops, she says, putting the grout underneath. Never mind, it will work as a gel medium, I am sure. So there we are. Let's just pop that onto there. Pop that into there. I need a bit more of that then to there. Have I moved you up into there enough? I think I have, haven't I? There we are. There we are. You can sit into there. Well, I don't know why I picked that up, but there we are. Let's just grab some of that gel medium. It will help. It will stick, honestly. There we are. There we are. Let's tuck that into there. Excellent. Let us take some of this and let's just pop it into that gap, because that saves me cutting out the tiniest of extra pieces for there. There we are. And let's just shove a little bit into there and a little bit into there. Okay. And I can see gaps here, so I'm just going to fill those gaps. With my paste and flatten it down. There we are. Then it might look like it's properly grouted. You never know. I'm glad it's not my kitchen is all I can say. There we are. Right, 2 or 3 more pieces. Let's see what we've got. I think we're going to pop that and that. And then we might have, maybe we're not going to pop that and that, maybe because we're going to end up with a pickle, aren't we, to cover in here. See that? Yeah, that's going to work better. So let's just pop that into there, pop that into there. That will work that. So it's a bit like just a jigsaw puzzle, isn't it, when you're doing something like this. There we are. That into there, pop it up into that piece. I can see that I've got, let's just pop a little bit more grout into there, that piece into there, and then we can grout this piece, and we've got some extra bits I do want to add, I know, but you'll be delighted to know, Daisies, we're nearly there. She says, famous last words with the Jill Live, isn't it? We're nearly there. There we are. Okay. So, let's just have a little bit of a clean. And a little bit more grout into there. I don't like this edge at this end, so we're just going to add, I think that's too big. Let me just add a smaller piece into here. Because I think it's going to look nicer with not quite such a straight edge. There. We haven't got a straight edge at the top. There we are. Okay, and at this point we could add an extra step onto there, and I rather like the idea of that, so we're just going to do it and add some height onto the edge of our pond. Now I remember why I cast this big piece. There we are. So he's just going to sit onto there as an extra piece, and we're going to add, do I want that there? Yeah, I am. I'm going to add that poked over there. There we are. Let me just take this. There we are. Oh, she says. There we are. Let's just move you down so you can see what I'm up to, because otherwise you can't manage to see it. So that's going to sit up there. Let's just get that mucky gel medium off our mitts into there. We are going to need to fill that hole, but that's fine. Let's just deal with the gel medium first. Okay. I'm going to pop that piece onto there. So we're just building up just a little bit of extra texture onto these pieces. Right, having cleared that, now you know why I chopped so many pieces, and then I can pop some of that into there so it doesn't quite look like it's floating. There we are. Pop that there, pop that there. So I know I want my well, I had wanted him there, but that's going to look silly now. Let me just pop that back up there. So I rather like him there, and I rather like, but I think I'm gonna, yeah, I definitely want him there, and I think he's going to have to sit there, partly on, partly off. Okay, so these are heat moldable. So let me just grab a big splodge. Ah, she says, having put cement on her lily pad. But there we are. We'll just cover that in a good splodge, and we'll pop him there, partly on, partly off. Let's just get clean hands. So he is partly on and partly off. I knew I was going to end up using the rest of this pot, didn't I? I said I was going to be using a lot. There we are. So there we are. There we are. And then we'll have a little bit of a clean up, because we've got goo where we don't want to. We don't want brown on him. So he's partly on, as if those the lilies are coming up and over. Oh dear, oh dear. There we are. And because these are varnished, I can take these off quite happily. Oh, I like that. So let me just pop that onto there. This is why you make so much stuff. Clever girl. Not, as the case may be. So that can go there. Let's just give that a jolly good wipe. Get rid of that gel medium that's in there. There we are. He can sit there. So he's partly underneath. There we are. I like it. Have I got more bits? Absolutely, I have more bits. And I'm going to pop that. Let me just move that so that you can see what I'm doing, because it's just becoming a little bit difficult. Up over there. I think we're going to pop that into there. Olympia, are you still on, darling? Because I have no idea what the lovely lady who's written with the Greek alphabet is actually saying, and I would like to be able to answer her questions if that's possible. So there we are. Yeah, so we're just going to continue to add. We will stop eventually. There we are. Thank you, Betty. Much appreciated, my darling. My phone doesn't translate the Greek text. It translates lots, but not the Greek text. There we are. So we now have our pond, which needs to sit and dry. I want to make it look a bit more like water, so I will add a gloss varnish over this when everything else has settled down. But I do have, I got that out. This is just UV resin. So let's see if we I can just add some water droplets onto here. So as I say, this is UV resin, so I just need to be patient. And that will help cure that. It will actually cure in the conservatory without me using the UV light, but this is all this is. I won't but it's just going to add just a little bit of extra detail onto these pieces. They surely can. They surely can. But I will add some gloss varnish onto into here. I do have another pot of the resin as well. Right, let me just get rid of that and get the new one out. So UV resin is just, you know, it's just one of those things that you can cure instantaneously when you don't necessarily want to add So let's just pop that over there. Now I know full well if you're not very careful with UV resin, is that if you get your UV light on your bottle of UV resin near the applicator, it will gum shut. So these just need a little bit, but there will be enough natural, once these are speed set from here, there will be enough natural UV in this room to cure these. I'm just going to add a few more bits around because I think it needs a few more. And I will varnish around I think some of the rest of it. There we are. Let me just pop that into there. Lift that. So I put it on. Oh, she says. And then let's just give this a little shine of the UV light around all these places that I have added to. And you just need to be patient. And am I patient? No, am I impatient? But as I say, I know in my conservatory these will ultimately set on their own because there's enough natural UV gets through into here. There we are. Right, let me just do that. So I'm thinking that around here still looks a bit clean. They're very good, Leah. They're very useful from doing that. So let me just grab a little bit of green moss paste. My lovely granddaughter's joined us. And a stippling brush. So let's just add, because again so this is just moss paste, it's slightly textured. Because round a pond it's not going to be pristine, is it? It's going to have bits of green. And I can trim off and paint the edges once it's all dried. It's not very often you'll see me get this out, but I definitely think it's just adding that extra bit of realism. and because I'm just stenciling this on, it's definitely very random. There we are. Definitely think that looks nicer as it was. We'll pop that into there. Oh, do I have a white pen? Or I might just have a white pen. That's never going to work. So let me just grab the white paint that I had and a little dotting tool. That will work. AKA kebab sticks are very useful things, aren't they? There we are, my darlings. So we have our lily pond. So if I just move this around, so this is the bottom of the tray. There we are. Let's just pop it down a little bit for you, and then let's just move it round all the way. Hopefully you can see. And then we've got this piece over here, and we'll pop that down, and we're going to pop it here to dry, and then we will probably come in long term when it's all dry, just give it a little bit of a, I might even just leave the edges actually like that, but add the stone paste around the sides of the frame so it looks better. Let's turn that off, and I'm going to paint in some I'm going to put in some shiny varnish into the water so it looks more realistic. So that is all for today, my lovelies. I will be back live on Tuesday for Pentart. Yes, I've got resin again because that's what they wanted me to use, but we're making a pretty functional project with some a glass jar that has come from B&M Bargains. So I hope you will be able to join me then to see what we get up to, and in the meantime please stay safe with whatever you're up to and whatever you're doing. Let's get rid of that, and no doubt I will see you online elsewhere at some point over the next few days. So let me just come into here. Oh dear, I've got so much stuff around me I can't actually move my computer mouse. So stay safe, whatever you're up to, keep calm, look after each other, and above all, be kind. Bye.